Hi all, myself K. Karthik Kumar, and this session we are going to see about lighting control techniques and some of the lighting safety issues. Let us move into the topic, that is lighting control techniques. That is where the areas where they are not occupied do not need constant light, and the lighting should not be left on in warehouses and storage areas unless the lights serve some function. In general, when we see any equipment or any system, we have to make some control over that. So here the lighting also have some control techniques. That is, in case of fluorescent lamp should not turned off if they will not be in use for 5 minutes or more. And the HID, that is high intensity discharge lamps, should not be turned off if they will not be used for about 30 minutes. That is, we have to give some control over lighting system. And then the cost effective control of EMO, yes, that is there are a number of cost effective control EMOs, that is that can be used to turn off lights that are not needed, or to utilize daylighting to supplement artificial light sources. And here there are some terms available, that is switches, timers, occupancy sensors or motion sensors, that we have already seen in the previous videos. And the last one is dimmers. Let us see one by one. That is switches. There are various types of switches are available in lighting system to control the light or to turn or turn off the light. Many types of switches are available for controlling lighting. The simplest is the standard wall mounted snap switch, that is mentioned here. Switches should be installed in the areas in which the fixtures are controlled. That is the installing switches, as the people tend to turn on all the switches at once. Installing the switches next to one another frequently results in all the available lighting operating at once. That is, we have to install the switch based on our requirements. That is, this lighting should have a common switch. We can call it as MCB. We can make that MCB as to control the or turn on turn off the whole lighting system for easy or efficient maintenance of lighting system. The next one is installation of occupancy sensor or motion sensors. This topic we have already seen in the previous videos, so I am going to skip this topic. The next is dimmers. That is, dimmers are good for areas which require low ambient lighting levels most of the time, with an occupational need for bright lighting. Solid state dimmers operate by reducing the light, that is voltage supplied to the lamps. This in turn reduces energy use and extends lamp life. Some of the fluorescent and HID lamps cannot be dimmed without dimmable ballast, and some rheostatic dimmers do not recommended for any application because they produce considerable heat and do not save much of energy. And when we see a key tag system to regulate the electric power in a room, that is a master key at the entrance of each guest room is placed. That is in the places like 5-star hotels or luxurious hotels, where they used to control the overall power supply of a room. They have a master switch control. Based on that, they can turn on turn off the whole power supply in the room. And the next one is maintaining the lighting system. When we consider any equipment or any system or any vehicle, we have to make some maintenance property, that is, in addition to a proper choice of light sources, ballast and fixtures, the efficiency of a lighting system depends on maintenance policy also. That is, maintenance includes both cleaning, relamping, that is fixture maintenance, establishing the lighting system maintenance schedule, and the last one is relamping strategies. That is, in that they have two types, that is spot relamping and group relamping. Let us see the one by one. Fixture maintenance, that is the performance of lenses, diffusers and reflectors depends on environmental factors such as dust accumulation, and the next one is oxidation, the third one is degradation due to UV light exposure. Generally the lamps, fixtures, reflectors, lens etc. will have collect dust and insects, and this dust accumulation on lighting fixtures results in reducing the light utilization by up to 40% and increases the heat production, thus which will result in the failure of the lighting system, or which will decreases the efficiency of the lighting system. And this lamps, that is all lamps should be cooled before cleaning, and gloves should be worn when cleaning any mirror like reflective part of a fixture, that is fixture or luminary. Maintenance in outdoor lighting, that is we have to have some special maintenance problem when we consider outdoor lighting. Dead insects can completely block out light, and overgrown vegetation can also reduce lighting levels from outside fixtures. The regular trimming of shrubs and trees and help to fully utilize these light sources, that is we have to look into the surroundings that affects the outdoor lighting system. And establishing the lighting system maintenance schedule, that is good maintenance schedule for a lighting system takes 3 steps. The first one is you must determine the maintenance characteristics of a fixture in our facility, and the next one is determine the dust condition the fixtures are likely to experience. The last one is to set the fixture maintenance schedule. And the third one under the maintenance of the lighting system is relamping strategies, that is usual strategy for relamping, replacing a lamp is to wait until a lamp burns out and then replace it, that is which is a spot relamping. The spot relamping is not necessarily the best one for a facility to follow. The spot relamping does not consider such factors as labor cost or lumen depreciation. It is often more economical to replace all the fluorescent and HID lamps in the facility at one time, that is called group relamping, that is replacing all kind of lamps at a time, which will also reduces the labor cost and other maintenance cost, and we can also improve the overall lighting system efficiency or efficient to have efficient lighting system in a particular industrial environment. There are some differences in the spotlight and that is spot relamping and group relamping. This we have to see. The next one is advantages of group lamping, that is reduce the labor cost, reduce the lamp cost, allow lamp maintenance to be scheduled, maintain higher and more uniform lighting levels, ensure the correct lamp use, extend ballast life, reduce interruptions in work area, reduce labor cost, that is spot relamping can require up to 30 minutes to move furnishing or equipment setup to replace the lamp and to put equipment away. When we consider group relamping, the fixtures can usually be lamped and cleaned in 5 minutes, so the time is also consumed when considering a group relamping. The loss of use cost of relamping, that is replacing a few lamps before they have burned out, is generally less than the increased cost of the labor to individually replace burned out lamps. And to reduce lamp cost, that is we have to purchase a large number of lamps at one time, that allows for high volume discounts. When we purchase a bunch of orders or bunch of lamps, we will have some discount over it. In case of instead buying one by one, that is more advantageous one when considering relamping systems. And ensure the correct lamp use, that is spot relamping often results in the installation of a variety of lamp types with inconsistent light output levels, lifespans and colors, etc. While in group relamping provides an opportunity to install the newest energy efficient lamps. To reduce the interruptions in work area, the group relamping prevents most of the unplanned lamp replacements. The next one is extend ballast life. That is how we can extend the ballast life. To have a better ballast life, we have to work harder to start and operate strobing lamps which are near the end of their life, and allow lamp maintenance to be scheduled. That is, relamping can be scheduled for slow periods for a maintenance staff, and the scheduled relamping also allows a regular schedule to be set for regular inspection and cleaning of lamps and luminaries. And here there are some formulas relating to cost for determining the relamping cost, that is relamping cost. The first one is for spot relamping cost, and the second one is group relamping cost, which is given by C is equal to L plus S. That is where C is the total replacement cost per lamp, and L is the net price per lamp, and S is the spot replacement labor cost per lamp. The second one is group relamping cost, which is equal to L plus G divided by I, where G is the group replacement labor cost per lamp, and the I is the group relamping interval, that is which is in percentage of rated lamp life. The next one is safety issues. That is, some of the safety issues has to be considered while considering a lighting system. That is, lighting industry is encountering increasing safety and environmental concerns. That is, some of the materials used in lighting system are hazardous. So we have to make that we have to make proper disposal of it. That is, for example, older ballast and capacitors may contain polychlorinated biphenyl oil, that is, which is in short denoted as PCB, which should be sent to facility certified for handling hazardous waste and for disposals or for recycling. Fluorescent lamps contains mercury vapor. Next one is antimony, and the second one is cadmium and other toxic chemicals. And the new T8 lamps, example 1 inch diameter, use less phosphor material and mercury gas than the conventional T12 lamps. Using T8 lamps should reduce disposal cost, also environmental impacts. So we have to consider such safety issues also. There are some chemical based lighting systems are available and fixtures are available. So we have to dispose after the usage of such fixtures and lights or lamps. We have to dispose such chemicals in proper way with reduced cost. So we have to choose accordingly the lighting system or lamp. The next is lighting system issues. That is, broken lamps are fragile and break easily, and broken lamps are difficult to transport and recycle. and we have to consider durable lamps. And the next one is insulation placed on top of lighting fixtures. That is, can increase the operating temperature of lamp and ballast of fluorescent or HID fixtures. It will also reduce the lifespan of all system components. The next one is HID lamps, which operate at high temperatures and have pieces of hot arc tube can fall from the fixture if the lamp wall is fractured. These are all comes under HID lamps, that is high efficient, that is high intensity discharge lamp. The next one is similar to Electricity Act we have seen at the first in the energy auditing or management. Here also Energy Policy Act of 1992, which is restricted, that is which is for restriction. They have made some restriction under a lighting system, placed restrictions on the production and sale of inefficient fluorescent and incandescent lamps, and these restrictions will require facility managers to take a hard look at the emerging high efficiency lighting technologies, and many lamps are currently in use become difficult or impossible to find. Standard cool white and warm white lamps, the fluorescent lamps most often seen in commercial lighting fixtures and specifically targeted by the Act, and manufacturing the sale of low efficiency lamps, that is they have restricted such low efficiency lamp manufacturing and in case of fluorescent and incandescent lamps. These are the major restrictions they have made by Energy Policy of 1992. This is about energy control techniques and some of safety issues. Kindly subscribe to the channel for more videos related to energy engineering topics and either in Tamil or English. Thank you.